Good morning. So today we're going to do another Vlogmas and we're actually going to bake a gingerbread house, and I'm hoping that today it will go better than my sugar cookies that I did last time. I'm going to try have a lot more patience when decorating, but I actually watched a video of somebody doing this and decorating theirs the other day and it looked so easy. She made it look so good, so I'm hoping I can do the same. Not sure I'll be able to, but we're going to give it a good go. I've just been out and got all the ingredients for baking a gingerbread house, and to be honest, it's another very cheap thing to do. And the best thing about a gingerbread house is you can leave it on the side for like a couple of weeks and it'll still be okay to eat. I actually am sort of making my own style of gingerbread house because I don't like ginger. So we're gonna do a cinnamon house. I'm basically doing the whole recipe, but instead of ginger, I'm just using cinnamon. And that way I will actually be able to eat the cookies at the end as well. Okay, so for this video, I'm actually gonna talk you through the recipe I'm using when I'm doing it. So if you guys want to follow along, you're more than welcome. I'm also gonna put the recipe in the description box down below. So let's just get everything out. And I also got some more baking paper because you will need that for this recipe. Okay, so first of all, we're just going to weigh our butter out, and then our sugar and our golden syrup. We're going to put that all in a saucepan and melt it together. You can do this in a microwave. I don't have one though, so I'm just going to do it on the hob. It's probably a little bit quicker in the microwave, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, let's get weighing. So it's 250 grams of unsalted butter. We then have 200 grams of dark muscavado sugar. This will give it its really like caramelly taste, and it also gives it a really nice colour. And then lastly, our golden syrup, and we have 105 grams of this. We have in there our sugar and butter. I'm just going to add the golden syrup and then put it on heat. So now whilst that's melting, I'm just going to add all our dry ingredients and get them in the mixing bowl. First of all, we have the 600 grams of plain flour. Also, just a reminder at this stage, if you haven't preheated your oven, I would do that now, and you want it to be set at about 180 degrees. We want 2 teaspoons of bicarbonate of soda. And obviously I'm not using the ginger, so I'm just going to add my cinnamon in. This smells amazing. It does say about a teaspoon, however, because I'm not using the cinnamon, I'm going to add like 1.5 because I don't want it too cinnamony, but it does give it that gorgeous Christmassy scent. Just went a little bit freehand there. So I'm going to get all those mixed together and then check on the melting ingredients. So now that all my wet ingredients are mixed together and melted really nicely, I'm going to just add this to the dry ingredients. So I'm just going to start off by mixing this with the spatula just to get them fully combined, and obviously the ingredients are still quite hot, so I'm then going to go on to mixing it with my hands. You don't need a mixer for this bit, and it should turn it into a dough pretty quickly. This smells so good right now, and look at the colour of it. So I'm just going to finish off this mixing with my hands, and then once everything is fully combined, I can then add it to the table for rolling. So this dough's a little different because of the fact it is a dry dough, so you don't want to be adding any plain flour or things to it. So the way you're going to roll it out is you're going to be doing it with the baking sheets. So once I'm happy, I'm just going to approximately half this dough, because obviously we need everything doubled. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this dough in between 2 sheets of my baking paper. I am an amateur at this, so I'm just going to literally use these templates that I made, but you have got a chance of it sticking, which I've never tested, so maybe I should do it with greaseproof paper. I'm going to cut these out in greaseproof paper, just give me a second. Okay, so I'm going to now cut the pieces out of the dough. Okay. This is where I really wish I had a cookie cutter, but they literally didn't have them anywhere, so fingers crossed this works. Tidy the edges up once they're done. So we've got one at the front of the house, we've got a side of the house, we can probably do another side of the house in this one as well. And this is the first time I'm actually doing this, so hopefully I'm telling you all the right things, but we will see at the end. So this is literally just a spare wall. So we've got the front, 2 sides, let's get a gingerbread man as well. We're gonna have a star, a heart, because it's gonna be pink themed, this one. A gingerbread man, a Christmas tree. I'm just going to use as much as I can of these. Probably oh, that one came off. Let's just get another sheet. Do another gingerbread man, so he's got a friend. And another star. Okay, so then we can peel all this away. So this is where you see it being a bit crumbly, but that's absolutely fine and completely normal. Oh, I've just realised I didn't do a roof. So, with my next one, I will not be doing a side, so we don't have a spare side. We're going to have to do 2 roofs, which is fine. Luckily, I noticed that in time. So that's just spare dough now at the moment. And then we're going to gently, if I can, slide this on. And you don't want any of your pieces to be slanted, so make sure you just adjust them. And I'm pretty happy with that. So we need to do 2 of these, which is the roof, and we also need to, I think I'm going to be struggling for space. Let's plan this. Oh no, I should be able to do it because I'll put that one there, and then we'll do that one there, and the other one just in this place somehow. So I've just thought as well, I would like a door on my house. So I'm gonna cut this out of one of the house fronts. That's as good as we're gonna get. So just tidy it up a little bit. So I've just found this circle lid. I'm hoping this will punch a hole in it. Yes, that looks good. Okay, so we've just finished the new roof. Would it be one of my videos if I didn't do something wrong? And now we're going to try to put the windows in the actual walls. So I'm going to try and make them as even as possible. I mean, you don't have to have the windows in, but I do think it looks super cute. My windows are sisters, not twins. Okay, so I've just finished these in the oven, and these ones took about 10 minutes. I did then swap one of the roof tiles to go at the top and just put in for another minute or so. Now it's time to make the icing. I'm not going to move them off this baking tray until they are fully solid, which they are getting there now. Once they're fully solid, I'm going to put them onto the cooling rack on their own, but just so that they keep their shape, because obviously we don't want them to move, seeing as though they are the structure. But while they're cooling, I'm going to make the icing, so we can do that together, and then that will all be ready for when we do ice, but I'll probably leave it another 2 to so hours, just so they are fully cool before I do that. So for our icing, we're going to be using 600 grams of icing sugar, which is also powdered sugar for anybody that knows it as that. You can always expect a mess from me when I'm baking. And then 2 fresh egg whites. I've used 2 large eggs, so that should be enough. But if it's not runny enough and I'm not happy with it, I'm gonna add a little bit of water, but we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. Okay, so this is the perfect consistency for the building icing. You want it really thick, and we are going to be doing 2 lots of white icing. So I have just marked it with a cross on here. That's so I can differentiate the 2 thicknesses. So there is my builder's icing, which I'm just going to squeeze to the bottom and twist the top. So these will actually stay the same consistency as long as the bags are airtight. So now I need a little bit of a thinner consistency for the next piece. So I'm going to add a little splash of water, not too much though, because I can always add more later. So we have our next consistency, which you can see is much looser, but this one is for the outline icing, so it's much thinner consistency, but it's still quite thick, so it keeps its structure. And I'm going to be putting a little bit more of this one into this piping bag because I am going to be using a lot more of it. This will be for the decorating at the end as well. I have got a bit more in there, which is perfect. So this one does want to be a much thinner consistency because it is the flood one. I am going to be using pink, but because I only want like a pastel pink, I'm literally just going to add a tiny drop to start with. It is so tempting to add more, but you can add more later. I'm also then going to add a bit of water. So I've now got the perfect consistency that I want. You want it to fall back into the icing because obviously it is the flood icing. And look at that beautiful pink pastel colour. So we're then going to just pour all of this into the icing bag, but without filling it too much. We can always fill an extra one. So my gingerbread house has now cooled, so I'm gonna do the outline on everything and then I will start the flooding. So we're now going to be using the thinnest white consistency of your icing and cut the tiniest little hole because you only want a really thin outline. I feel like it's impossible not to have a shaky hand because you've got to squeeze the icing at the same time, but that one went pretty well. Going for the next roof now. So we're now going to go in with the flood icing, and you don't need to be too careful with this because I just want it to go everywhere. And then I'm going to go in with a cocktail stick just to get it really neat around the edges. But actually, even that design looks so cute. I think it's just because of the colour. So I've just finished flood icing my main pieces. I'm now, because I've got some left over, actually going to do some decoration on the accessory pieces. I don't know if I'll flood all of them, but I'm going to definitely do a little bit of a design on them. So we'll see how they go. And we'll try not wreck our gingerbread house while we do it. Okay, so that's everything decorated now. We just need to let that set. So I'm going to leave that for a few hours and then I will finish off decorating with the finer pieces. So I'm not sure if you can tell, but it is a few hours later now and these are all set. So I'm now going to paint the little details on the actual pieces. I may then leave it another few hours before I put it all together, but let's get decorating and see where we get up to.